I just beat Donkey Kong Bananza, and I'm going to say it. Nintendo is doing it again. This isn't just a great Donkey Kong game. This isn't just a great platformer. This feels like the start of something far bigger, and it is so darn reminiscent of a little game that began what became an insane run, a catalog of absolute craziness. Breath of the Wild on the Switch One. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Something magical happened the last few days. I just played the heck out of Donkey Kong Bananza. I played so much Donkey Kong Bananza, I didn't even make videos. Now, on one hand, that's good because I didn't post any late game spoiler content. And don't worry, this video will have no spoilers either. On the other hand, that was really bad because, this is a huge moment. But I soaked up the heck out of this huge moment, and it felt like the launch of the Switch 2 all over again. And in a lot of ways, it felt like the launch the Switch 2 should have had. Don't get me wrong, Mario Kart World is fantastic. DK Bananza is the Breath of the Wild equivalent. It's something that was missing from the launch of Switch 2. And even though Mario Kart is fun and Mario Kart is that multiplayer mayhem that many people have been waiting many, many moons for, DK Bananza shows Nintendo hasn't lost it. Somehow Nintendo was able to create a 7 or 8 year wave, right? A rolling wave of releases where they just kept one-upping themselves. They came out with these genre-defining experiences, these franchise-defining experiences, and they couldn't quite be stopped until they kind of stopped themselves because it was the end of the gen and they were waiting for Switch 2 to really launch their engines once again. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree, but I think that Donkey Kong Bananza is the start of the second golden era of Nintendo. And getting two golden eras of Nintendo back to back, freaking unheard of. Not something they do often, not something they do well. You could look at the NES and the SNES and say, okay, they were on their S-tier game, those two. And some might say the beginning of the N64 gen, they were on their S-tier. Switch 1, they were on their S-tier, and a lot of people Switch 2 is going to suck. In fact, so many people were committed to Switch 2 sucking, they continue to make content to this day saying that Nintendo Switch 2 ain't all that. Doesn't have any games, graphics aren't really as good as they said they were, the screen isn't really as good as we thought it was. They just have a whole bunch of nonsense to say. And instead, Nintendo comes out and says, DK Bananza, oh, by the way, it's a Game of the Year contender. Oh, by the way, it might be the best Mario platformer in the Switch era, even better than Mario Odyssey. Yes, we have to put that debate out there. And they're just getting started. This is, by all accounts, the first Switch 2 exclusive game that's doing something new, right? Mario Kart World, okay, they tried to do the open world thing a bit, but that really feels like it's stepping on the toes of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's really like riding piggyback. DK Bananza is its whole new thing. And if Donkey Kong Bananza is the start, just imagine where we can go. We can't imagine because we saw where Nintendo went after Breath of the Wild was the start. I remember sitting in an airplane with my Switch 1 playing Breath of the Wild in the air for the first time and being like, dude, Nintendo can literally do anything. The sky is the limit for where they can go because I'm playing a brand new Zelda that completely busts the shell of what Zelda was, redefines it, and I can play it anywhere. Now, Donkey Kong Bananza is redefining and busting the shell of what DK is. Also, I'd say what a 3D collectible platformer is in the modern 2025 era, setting the bar insanely high for the Mario team, but oh wait, this isn't even the main Mario squad. Nintendo used Donkey Kong as a launch window character. And now I don't want to take anything away from this game because I freaking love it. It's going to probably be on my all-time list. I absolutely adore this. You get to the end and you're just, I can't spoil it, but I don't want to take anything away. Your jaw is on the floor. The game experience as a whole leaves you feeling with that Nintendo joy that I feel like comes just a couple times a generation. We're lucky that it does. Most companies, their joyful, insane game is once. They hit it once. Nintendo hits it all the time. But alas, Nintendo is using DK as a launch window game, which to me says they don't believe DK is the best that they can do. Now, I'm not saying it's not amazing. I think it is amazing, but I feel like they think they've got room to grow. Breath of the Wild was a great game, but Tears of the Kingdom really capitalized on it in so many distinct ways, and Nintendo really built up throughout the Switch life cycle what they could do with that system, what it meant to be a Nintendo exclusive, and how they were going to evolve their franchises, take their characters to new heights, and pursue this idea of Nintendo being the best game makers on the planet. Now, some people will love Breath of the Wild because it's the OG. It started the seed, right? It began the bloom. And DK Bonanza could very well be that game for me or for you, but there is so much more coming. That's like the most exciting part, right? DK Bonanza is a revelation. DK Bonanza is everything I hoped and dreamed and more. In fact, it's far better than I ever thought it could be based on what I saw of the gameplay. They sell it so short by being like, you can break the level. The game is absolutely exponentially much more than that, but Nintendo has much more up their sleeve. Look, so many of their franchises are waiting for a Switch 2 release, and in fact, waiting for anything. We're waiting for just about anything. We haven't even had a Switch 2 era direct. Think about that. Let that sink in with how good DK Bonanza is. By all accounts, how great Mario Kart World is. Mario Kart World, like Nintendo has set the bar so high. Mario Kart World is so good, it doesn't even stand out because it just does what Mario Kart's supposed to do, right? They're like, oh, a 9.5 out of 10 game. Yep, they did it again. That's the bar Nintendo has set with Mario Kart. They haven't even had a direct. They have a character that was forgotten for decades, comes back, redefines 3D platformers, and is absolutely amazing, and they haven't even begun to show you their hand. We know Metroid Prime 4 is coming. Oh, that's a cross-gen game. We know Pokemon Legends ZA is coming. Oh, that's a cross-gen game. They kind of revealed some, I think, smaller titles in the form of Hyrule Warriors. They've got these Switch 2 edition upgrades. They showed off Kirby Air Riders, but who knows what Sakurai is actually brewing at that. We'll start there because I think Kirby Air Riders could be much more than meets the eye. If it is truly a franchise evolution in the way that we've seen with Zelda, with Splatoon, with Mario, with DK, what the heck are we going to be doing besides just racing in kind of a boring, slow fashion? Yeah, that's what Kirby Air Ride felt like to me. But can they bring it bigger? Can they bring it bolder? And even if they don't, Smash Bros, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Maker, 3D Mario. Name a franchise, it doesn't have a Switch 2 edition yet. Mario Kart will be Mario Kart, and that's done. DK, I mean, DK could honestly get a sequel on the Switch 2. This game is doing that well, and the mind share, the word of mouth is so excellent. The monkey may not be done monkeying around. So even include DK. There still is a Switch 2 game for that franchise, for that character. Heck, Nintendo could revisit ARMS. The next game up is Mario Party Jamboree. Oh, that's from the Switch 1. We got Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Oh, that's from the Switch 1. Drag Drive. Okay, they're charging like $30 for that game. $20 for that game. Nintendo is going to release so many games on the Switch 2, and one of them has already blown my socks off. And I refuse to be told that this is the pinnacle of where the Switch 2 can get. In fact, I think it's just the crust. We know that Donkey Kong Bananza started off as a Switch 1 game. And I don't think that takes anything away from the game because it's freaking insane. It's incredible. It is a masterpiece. There are starting games right now that we won't see for 5 years. What will those games be like? What will games be like when they had Tears of the Kingdom under their belt? When they had Donkey Kong Bananza under their belt? There is so much to unearth for the Switch 2. It's kind of like diving through the layers of DK Bonanza. Like, I want to talk so much about DK Bonanza, I can't spoil it for you. This is kind of my way. We're going to use metaphor and analogy. DK Bonanza dives through the layers of the earth. It's like diving through the layers of the Switch 2 life cycle. And we're at the very crust. Let me tell you, if you've played DK Bonanza, the crust, it's still fun, but it's pretty boring when compared to what's beneath it. I think that we are in for so much more than we even bargained for. I think the Switch 1 was so good. I think we sort of conditioned ourselves to think that the Switch 2 would probably just be like a little upgrade and the games would maybe just be more, like more of the same, right? But more, which is great, but more of the same. And it seems like Nintendo is actually going to utilize this generation and leverage this as a way to completely blow us away and level everything up once again, which has me just floored. We live in the best Nintendo era. Can you believe that? You are gaming, you are watching, you are consuming, you are cartridging, you are playing, you are sharing, you are in the best era of Nintendo. You didn't miss it. Yes, it was fantastic when I was a wee lad and I played Super Nintendo in Mario World. Yes, it was fantastic when Donkey Kong Country first debuted and we saw King K. Rool for the first time and we met Rambi and we learned what a Diddy Kong was. That era, I'm telling you, it's being usurped. That era is being improved upon with the Switch 1 library of games, the crossover titles that still seem so promising, and then this new burgeoning era that they begin with Donkey Kong Bananza saying, hey, what can we do for a 6, 7, 8 year generation and cycle when we just did our craziest thing ever? And DK Bonanza tells me they're going crazier. DK Bonanza tells me they're taking advantage of the hardware to see their ideas to the fullest extent and to let those ideas run wild. This is not your older brother or uncle's Nintendo. This is not Nintendo playing it safe. This is Nintendo going hog wild, quite literally, as you eat your way through the world of DK Bananza, punch your way through, transform your way through, and Pauline is on his shoulder. Did you ever think there'd be a DK game with fully destructible levels? Little Pauline is on your shoulder, singing to transform you into different animal awesomeness. That is insane. And that comes on the back of Mario Wonder, which is kind of an insane Mario game. Nintendo has a chance here, and an opportunity, and really a calling, right? A demand, a mandate, if you will, to achieve this level of creativity and fun with all their characters. I don't want Splatoon 4 to just be Splatoon 3.5. I don't want Mario 3D to be Odyssey 1.5. I don't want Smash Bros. To just be Ultimate 1.5. Nintendo can take leaps with all of these franchises. They can do it, even if we don't see how. Even if we don't know what is possible. Did you ever think DK would return with a mechanic where you destroy the world around you, and yet it works for 20 hours by constantly unveiling new rips, twizzles, twirls, and ripples that absolutely change the gameplay, delight you around every corner, and keep it engaging and interesting and making you want 100% it. Nobody thought that. Nobody thought DK Bananza would be this game and would kind of be like the de facto Switch 2 launch title that they're using as the real like piece de resistance of this launch window lineup. DK Bananza is amazing, and yet it's just the beginning. So think about your favorite franchise. What do you want? You want Animal Crossing? You want Splatoon? You want Luigi's Mansion? You want Kid Icarus? You want Gen 10 Pokemon? I don't know. Pokemon Company, like, sometimes they're a little slow going, but who knows? Maybe they'll find it in their hearts to really embrace the power of the Switch 2 as well. Like, they did make Scarlet and Violet, and outside of the performance issues, that game was a huge step up. Nintendo is coming, games industry. While everybody else seems to be floundering, flailing, and not knowing what types of games to make or how to make them successful, Nintendo just delivered an absolute revolutionary title, and it's the first real big game on the system outside of Mario Kart World, which I sadly think is going to get forgotten. I mean, not forgotten, but like, it will not be attached to the Switch 2 in the way that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was attached to the Switch 1. It's just not going to be. I don't think it's going to have the same energy. But DK Bananza brings that energy. It brings the heat, and we just turned the system on. Just a month ago, you turned the system on. Maybe even a week ago, depending on when you got it. And Nintendo is just getting started. We haven't had a Direct yet. We have no clue what kind of games Nintendo is planning for this system, but the beginning is so bright and bold and beautiful. The future is absolutely insane, and Nintendo Switch 2 games are leveling up in a way that I think most people didn't think was possible. The Switch 2 is a revelation already, and who knows where they're going to go next. But I'm telling you, it's just going to be up. Let me know if you agree in the comments down below. What franchise or game are you most excited for? Kirby, Mario Party, what you think is due for another evolutionary step in the Switch 2 era? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love y'all lots. Hope you're enjoying DK Bananza. Really want to talk more about the game specifically, but I'll wait a little bit longer until then. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. SwitchForce out.